We have Jenn Coyle Catalano. She is with the Can Van. Welcome to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Jen, how goes it?
It's going pretty well. Thanks so much for having me.
No problem. It's really cool. When Randy mentioned that we were going to be talking to you, it's like, I'm just kind of getting into the microbrew thing myself, and I do another show called The Cork Dorks, which is predominantly been wine, but microbrews are so incredibly popular now. People who were on the tip of it, like Sacramento, Portland, and more places like San Luis Obispo, and are getting into it and stuff. What you've done is you've taken this new trend of canning the microbrews. Where did that come from?
Well, we actually began this project as a class project in a green MBA program, and we found that the craft brewing industry is growing so much and so exciting, and of course the beer is so delicious, that we just took it from there and decided to turn it into a real company. So we've been running for about 2 years now. Canning beer for some of our local breweries.
Now, were you kind of a pioneer in this biz? Did you see it become trendy, or did you kind of make it trendy?
Well, when we started, there wasn't anyone else offering this mobile canning service. We were inspired by the mobile wine bottling that serves all of the wineries up where we are in Napa and Sonoma, as well as down here where you are, more like Paso Robles.
Right.
And we felt like there was an opportunity to merge that with the trend of breweries that are small putting their beer in cans. So this way we would allow even smaller breweries to be able to can without having to buy their own equipment.
So Jen, you mentioned that this was the kind of birthed in a green MBA program. So something that Adam and I were kind of wondering about, is there, sustainability behind this model? Is there something better about canning versus bottles?
Yeah, cans actually have a lot of benefits. They're significantly lighter than bottles. So you can save money in shipping. It costs less gas to transport them, and you can put more into the same shipping truck. They also are the most recycled beverage container in the U.S. Around in California, they have just about 100% recycling rate. And they also keep the beer fresher because they protect it from light and oxygen. And so there's lots of benefits.
This is kind of, it reminds me of this phenomenon, this kind of like you're being on the tip of this, is the whole screw caps for wine. For a long time, people associated screw caps on the top of a bottle of wine as cheap, as kind of ghetto.
Right.
But when we think about it, a cork being in wine, of course, there's a romanticism that goes along with it, a sexiness about it. But if you want to talk about eliminating the chance of your wine ever getting corked, throw a screw cap on it. You know what I mean? So this almost seems like it's actually smarter to do if you just get kind of past that hump. Are your prospective clients, are they over that hump where they're like, yeah, let's try this? Because I think with the screw cap, we're getting there if we're not there already. Are we there yet with the canning of microbrews?
Yeah, that's a great analogy because 10 years ago, there was only basically one brewery that was a craft brewery putting their beer in cans, Oscar Blues, which released Dale's Pale Ale out in Colorado. And today, there's over 300 craft breweries in the U.S. that have beer in cans. So there's a lot more options available at the store. And I think that for consumers, it's especially becoming more clear that you can get a really good beer in a can. That it doesn't just have to be, your macro brews, your light lagers that come in cans.
Some of these beers, like the IPAs, the ones that are heavy in hops, do they sustain the same way in a can as they do in a bottle?
Yeah, and actually, if you do a blind taste test, often you'll notice that some of the aromas are better preserved in the cans. When you have a cap on a bottle, similarly to what you're talking about with wine, there is some oxygen transfer, whereas a can is completely sealed, and so it really retains all that freshness.
We got Jenn here from thecanvan.com. Log on to learn more about them. Well, now is there's like a white trash factor that I talked to earlier with Patty about, and that's
I was going to call you out on that when you were mentioning screw top wine.
Yeah, because and I dig that. I dig the white trash factor.
But it harkens back to like the Buffett song, "Pop to Top." You stepped on the pop top, and
is that kind of a fun thing to play off of? I mean, I don't even think of it as a scary way to brand it. It's actually kind of a cool way to brand it, I think. I don't know. Have you been embracing that or kind of getting around it?
It can be. I wouldn't say that's an area that we've actually worked in so much. For our clients,
I don't know why.
It's really about being able to bring that really good craft beer that's, a local product. It's something that somebody's put a lot of craft into making something really delicious, but also making it convenient. You don't have to go, even if you're going to a barbecue or you're going on the river, you can bring your favorite IPA.
Mm-hmm. So, Jen, you're talking about like preserving quality then is more really what your focus is.
Yeah, and also on the convenience. It really opens up. Yeah, it opens up a lot of markets to these craft brewers being able to sell their product in a place where glass just doesn't make sense.
But if Adam wants to feel a little bit white trashy when he pops the top now and again, we're going to let him, right?
Yes.
Of course, more power to you.
So, Jen, what's your stomping grounds? How far are you ranging with this mobile unit?
So we're based in the San Francisco Bay Area, but we're serving all of Northern California, and as well as we've branched down into the southern areas. We have gone as far as San Diego and LA. And we're actually talking to a couple breweries down in your area, in Paso Robles and San Luis Obispo. Two current clients that we have are in Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Santa Cruz Mountain Brewing, which has an IPA that's only available at the Boardwalk.
Oh.
It's very cool. That's a place where cans are the only packaging that they can have there.
Right.
So as a local brewery, they were able to get their product to the Boardwalk, so you can have an IPA while you're enjoying your Eddie Money concert.
Are you going to need a second van at some point?
If we keep getting as busy as we have been, it's definitely a possibility.
Now, you mentioned
over 200 breweries in California right now.
Yeah, God, you mentioned some local breweries here, or you mentioned that some in this area were interested. I mean, I don't know about you, but the 805 is becoming huge here. And how cool would it be to see a black can 805?
Yeah.
I mean, that would just blow up here. Are you able to tell us which ones you're talking to?
No one I can mention just yet, but they're local.
Very cool. Well, I would love to put some calls out to some of the folks that I know that do it. And, let me ask you a question, because some things we run into with small lot wineries that can't necessarily afford the tasting rooms or different aspects when you're small lot and boutique. Someone who is a small lot brewer, are you cost effective? How do you work in with a person's budget who may be a little bit less than, say, a big guy?
Well, the main thing that we offer is the ability to do really small batches. Usually, if you want to start canning your product, you have to buy 100,000 cans from the can manufacturer, whereas we can offer them the ability to do as little as 2,000 cans.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I definitely.
So you don't have to put up that big.
Right. That's definitely a savings.
I hope to see your can van sometime down here in San Luis Obispo County. That would be pretty sweet.
We'll be looking for you.
Yeah. We got Jenn Coyle from thecanvan.com, and I'm guessing, of course, as someone who is doing microbrews or knows someone that is listening, the website's got all the answers, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Thecanvan.com. Jenn Coyle Catalano. Well, appreciate you taking time with us, being on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so check out the canvan.com website. Gosh, I mean, and she made a great point when she drew that lineage, Patty, there are big trucks that will come out there for wineries that don't have a bottling line.
Right.
A bottling line is a very expensive and sizable investment.
So they have those mobile bottling operations, absolutely.
So she's doing it right down the line, and I think that screw cap thing we dialed into was right on the money. So very cool. Thanks to Jenn Coyle, and learn more about these folks at thecanvan.com. Summer recipes from the wine director at Marisol at the Cliffs in Shell Beach, as well as the executive chef Greg Weingard. We'll do that next here on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Adam Montiel filling in for Randy White. Thank you, Patty, for having me, and thanks to Cora and Anthony as well.
The traditional